Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Insurance Town. I'm the Mayor, Heath Shearon, and the host of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are looking for a partner in your agency, someone to come alongside you to help you to become the best agency owner you can be, whether it's somebody to help you find more markets, roll up your sleeves and help you write more commercial insurance or personal insurance, look no further than my friends over at Smart Choice. 10,000 agencies across the country trust Smart Choice. 11 billion in written premium, so you know carriers love them. And they have some great relationships with MGAs, with some surplus lines markets, E&S markets. They have just got it on lockdown, and they are such a great partner to work with for me and for the agencies that have signed up through Insurance Town. Go to smartchoiceagents.com and check it out. Also, friends, if you are looking to shore up your intake process, looking for ways to build out forms, customize your agency, looking for that one-click solution, the deck pages, and getting those deck pages you need to quote your prospects, go to Canopy Connect. It's usecanopyconnect.com. Go to /Heath. Tell them the mayor sent you. Tell them that you're a listener of the show, and you will get a discount. Go ahead and book your demo. Go ahead and do all of the things and make sure that Canopy Connect is a part of your process, because it's a game changer. And it's not too late. We're still in the first quarter of 2025. It's not too late to get those marketing dollars out there to spend on digital marketing, direct mail marketing. My man, Ariel Rivera. What's going on, brother, man?
What's up, Mr. Mayor? How you doing, my brother?
My Latino brother.
How you doing, man? Everything good?
Man, I'm good. So talk to me, like, what's been going on with you? I mean, you've had a lot going on. Obviously, we all see you on social. You're all over the PIA circuit. Now you're like the president, and you're the big dog over there. So, like, what's like? Tell me in like as few words as possible. I guess, like, what is that? What's going on with you? Like, tell me. Is this like a fun ride for you right now? You about to pull your hair out? You don't have much left, but I mean, how's it going?
I know. I still got a little bit of hair. It's going gray early, just like yours. So I got the full
Right?
salt and pepper.
A little salt and pepper,
A
baby.
little salt. But yeah, hey man, it's been I can tell you it's been a couple of years, busy, hectic, and all that, and I think it's at this point in time, it's nothing but a blessing. The things
Yeah.
that have happened along the way, and when we work hard for something, things happen. Now this year, as you know, starting September, I became officially, right, the PIA National President, which is interesting because people were like, "But I thought you were president before." I'm like, "No, it doesn't work like that, right? You are elected to become an officer by your national directors, by your peers. Once they elect you, you got to go through the shares, right? So you're a secretary first, then you're a treasurer, and then you're president-elect, and then you're actually the president, and then you're president. Which, by the way, huge shout out to our sister who we love a lot, Bonda Copeland, who just got
Yes.
elected for secretary. So that means 3 years from now, she's going to be PIA National President. So I'm
And that
super
is
excited.
exciting, dude.
Yes, and I get to work
So
with her.
exciting.
So I mean, I'm sorry for the rest of you that love her. I mean, I get to work with her almost on a daily basis.
Dude,
So
we're all
I'm living the
jealous.
dream.
Dude, we're all jealous of you for sure. But there's
Uh,
been a lot of big things going on with the PIA nationally. I know, we brought in a new vice president or a new EVP.
CEO. Yep. We got a new CEO for PIA National.
And tell me a little bit, like, if you can, anything you can tell me about Mike. We got a new Mike, and he
Yep,
comes
yep,
from outside the industry, so he's got to bring some
yep.
fresh perspective and some cool ideas there. And so, have you had much inner workings with him, and how's that been?
Yep. So Mike and I work hand in hand, right? And one thing which is it's a very interesting experience, and it's very humbling as well. When you become the actual president, it's almost on a daily or weekly basis, right? It's a lot of work. It's not just shaking hands, kissing babies, and all that. It's you have the whole organization under your hands. You're representing over 30,000, 35,000 independent insurance agents across the country, so it's huge, right? So we had our previous CEO, Mike Becker, who took another CEO job at another nonprofit organization. And then we brought in Mike Skiatos, who's our new CEO. And Mike is a wonderful, wonderful guy with a lot of experience and a great pedigree from the nonprofit associations as well. So he actually comes from the Architects Association.
Ah,
So he brings a lot of fresh ideas, especially on continuing education programs, membership. So it's funny, I'm trying to trim him in a good way, of course, and kind of like giving him the huge passion and love for the insurance industry, which is so funny because whenever we have our meetings, we do weekly meetings, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. He's like, it's like, man, you guys love insurance and the industry. And then, he can tell our passion, right? The same as you. I mean, we're both super passionate about the industry. And you know what? He's been with us, I think, 3 months now, 3, 4 months now. And he's in there. He's in there. I'm going to take a lot of pride in saying we convince him to love the industry. I mean, he didn't need much convincing. He's a passionate guy as well, very, very sharp, very diligent. One of the things that we're pushing hard during my presidency and for him as well, it's of course, number one, increasing membership, right? It's um, letting everyone out there know this is what we can do for you, right? This is why being a member of PIA matters. And the things we do for other independent agents, some of them don't even realize we do that, right? Like advocacy. How do we pay for, better tax credits and stuff like that? Education. How do we protect crop insurance? How do we protect flood insurance? There's so many things that go on that I sometimes, not that I get frustrated, but it saddens me that wherever I go across the country, people are like, oh, what can PIA do for me? I'm like, well, many things can be done for you. It's all a matter of what are you looking for, right? Are you looking
right.
for, getting appointments? Are you looking for relationship? Are you looking to grow in your state? Are you looking for a bigger network, a bigger family? Are you looking for legislation? I mean, it all depends what you're looking for. But for all of that, we're here for you.
And
So yeah.
that's one of the things that, and it's no secret, anybody that's listened to the show for the last 5 years knows that the mayor's all about the PIA. And I
Oh
bleed
yeah.
PIA through and through. And I absolutely love it. My wife works at the PIA. Obviously, you're one of my best friends, and you're PIA president. And I get that question a lot, whether I'm on stage, afterwards, at different events. Why would I join PIA, and what can it do for me? Or I just joined and I'm not, I don't know what it does for me, whatever it might be. I always tell people, you get out of it what you put into it. If you just want to sign up on a piece of paper, say, hey, I'm a member of PIA, great, you're a member, but you're not going to get a whole lot out of it. But if you want to roll up your sleeves and get to work, if you want to, find out what the programs are, because I guarantee you, like you said, if you want to grow in your local state or, local area, or if you want to get involved with, the advocacy and you want to do all this kind of stuff, or you want to find markets, or if you want to get new carriers involved, whatever, there's something there at PIA for you. And, even if you're wanting to grow your tech, lately in the last 3 or 4 years, I've been involved with the tech council a little bit and going to some of those meetings and being involved there. And there's so much going on there. Really, I just think there's no way that PIA could not help you as an independent insurance agent or as a carrier or as a tech person or whatever. I just think, and again, I don't say that because I'm a homer, but I am, but I just think if you're listening to this right now and you're not a member of the PIA, first of all, find out in your local state, because I'm sure there's some connection somewhere out there, whether it's, one of those that are combined states or individual states. I just think you could always find something. And so I know you're one of those ones. I think, is it true that like you're probably the youngest ever president of the national board?
Yes,
And
that's
so you got involved since you were really young. And so it's kind of
30.
shaped your entire
Yep.
career.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So
And
tell me,
it's
yeah, tell me about that a little bit. Like maybe echo a little bit what I'm saying. Like if you want to get involved, you want to roll up your sleeves, the PIA is one of the best spots you can be a part of.
And I agree. I mean, it's not that you're a homer, by the way. Don't beat yourself. It's you've been involved enough, right? So
Yeah.
whenever you've been involved enough, you understand everything that goes around, what goes on, and how it can help you. How it can make you better professionally in many other ways. The connections, the relationship. In my case, I started with them very young. I was probably the youngest national director. I was probably not. I was the youngest
Yeah.
national
And but
director when
say
I
it's
joined at
facts.
32. At that point in time, sitting at the table, right, with many other national directors from other states or merged states or even regional states, right? But what ended up happening is, in my case, a lot of the value I found, which helped me a lot, because at that point I only had the agency in Puerto Rico, was the relationship, right?
Yeah.
Systems, technology, all of that. I was not seeing any of that or very little of that, for example, for my agency in Puerto Rico. So now when you start learning about and meeting people like you and meeting people like Stacy, your wife, and other members and the Savinos, and then we met, Gerald Hemphill, Big Red in Texas. I mean, you start meeting all these great people, Tony Curry in Michigan. I mean, there's so many of them. These guys are great players, industry players, some of the best in their state, some of the best in the nation at the things
Uh-huh.
they do. And the value and the knowledge of just sitting down, having a coffee, a breakfast, lunch, cocktails, of course, always cocktails, almost always, after all the meetings and events. Once you see that, once you get that value, that's when you start understanding this goes beyond just a relationship or just what you can
Yeah.
do, especially on your local level, right? On the state or regional level, there's so much you can do on the national level. Then you start learning advocacy. And again, in my case, I will always be biased because there's many other organizations, insurance organizations that are wonderful as well. It's just when and I'm involved with some of them too. But this is the one I decided to join in terms of leadership and assume leadership at a point in time, because this was the one that always felt to me like family. And I remember when we got destroyed with the hurricanes in 2017, and I'm getting calls from the insurance commissioner of Louisiana saying, hey, here are the 15 emergency rules. Here's how we can help you. I mean, that means the world. At that
Yep.
point, our office in Puerto Rico, our agency in Puerto Rico, and even the office of the insurance commissioner, everyone was uncommunicated. They knew what they had to do, but having additional resources at the palm of your hand makes a huge difference, right?
It
And
does. And
that's
I've heard of stories of, even in Arkansas, we had a huge tornado roll through not too long ago and just wiped out Little Rock. There's other PIA agencies that are jumping in from outside of the state, from other cities, other states, of like, hey, how can we help you? We can help field some claims. We can help you here. We can help you there. And you see him reaching out to Stacy, like, hey, I heard your state had this happen. How can we roll up our sleeves now? What can we do? And like you said, it's that family feel, that family atmosphere of like other agencies from other states, even in your own cities, can pick up the phone and help out just because they know you're part of the PIA family. It's crazy.
Yep. And that's the part that then when you start moving into advocacy, right? For example, I always tell people are like, I don't know anything about crop insurance or blah, blah, blah. Neither do I. But you
Right?
start learning. I don't know much about it. I mean, I know when we do our nightly prayers every night, we pray for everybody involved in the food chain that brought us food to our table, right? Because we got to always be
100%.
thankful about the farmers and all that. And I'm like, I don't know much about crop insurance, but I did learn one thing at one of my first BIA meetings about crop insurance, advocacy towards crop insurance was on the crop insurance, there's the farm bill. And then under the farm bill, which is managed mostly by that advocacy group from PIA Crop Insurance Group or Advisory Council, under that farm bill, there's an assignment of funds, federal funds that go directly to Puerto Rico that could affect us, that even though it's something I think or I believe I'm not supposed to get involved, all of a sudden you're mentioning my home state and you're saying, hey, this could have the farm bill, if the crop insurance, advocacy group don't advocate for X, Y, and Z, it could affect the farm bill. And if it affects it, it's going to affect X, Y, and Z, but it's also going to affect some assignment of federal funds to Puerto Rico as well. And now I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? This is just bigger than us, bigger than
Yeah.
all of us. And my huge, like, and I preach this everywhere I go. It's like organizations like PIA is the reason we make sure independent agents across the country have their doors open. It's that simple, period. And I'm a true believer of that. I'm not saying that it's because of us you're open or because of us, you're successful or whatever. No, that's all on you, the communities you serve, your team, your family support, all of that. But we make sure that anything that could impact you or the communities you serve, we want to fight for that, right? And
And
we
a
want to
lot of
make sure.
times people may not understand, one of the things I've been to Washington, D.C. multiple times with, the Arkansas group and, on a national level and whatnot. And to hear even something I didn't know was going on, like the federal government wanting to get involved in our industry. And I'm a believer, and so is PIA, that each state, should still be able to regulate their own. And,
Oh
we're
yeah.
trying to keep federal out, from having their own, taking over, so to speak, the insurance
Yep.
industry. And people don't realize that. And they're trying to, that affects commissions, that affects how they get paid, that affects, regulations that go on a state level, and when you start thinking those things, people are like, oh, I didn't know that happened. I didn't know that the federal government was trying to take over. And I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know my commissions could be affected. I didn't know my customers could be affected by things that are going on. And we're fighting for those things.
Oh yeah.
And now we've got, Stacy's been growing every year, bringing more and more people. Now we've got people on our board that want to pay their own way to come to Washington, D.C. because like, this is so important, that I want to make sure I don't miss any more of these. And so, and people, like you said, they'll come like, I don't know anything about legislative stuff. And I'm like, neither do we. Come on and learn. And y'all are so good. The PIA is so good about educating on what we're talking about. And there's all these meetings and pre-meetings. But the one thing that I will say, when I go to these meetings, like, it's really cool to see these senators and these, people in the House of Representatives, all these different people, the representatives and whatnot, they want to sit with us. They want to talk to us. It's not like, oh gosh, here comes the PA coming in. It's like, no, they're jacked up and excited to roll up their sleeves and work for us. And like, they want to hear what's going on. And it's wild to see. I had Senator Bozeman in Arkansas came off the Senate floor, came out in the hallway for a 10-minute meeting with us and then went right back into the Senate. I was like, holy smokes. Like, he was in a meeting. And he, we went through the Batman tunnel and went through all the things and went down there, like right outside the Senate, and met with. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen, and it was like, holy smokes! Like, he really cared that much to step out of an important meeting and meet with us. I don't know. It's wild.
And that's one of the things, my first time I ever did advocacy, I learned, again, I was blessed enough to have wonderful mentors all throughout the years. I had Brian Sandberg from Florida, who was showing me the way around Congress. He was the national director for PIA of Florida, and he took me in the morning. I had my meetings with our congressman in the afternoon that time. And he was like, no, come with me to the Florida meetings because, Florida and Puerto Rico are very similar in terms of what they need, legislation and stuff like that. Come with me so you can learn your way. And one of the things that impressed me the most, which is what you're saying, congressmen and women, they want us there. They want to listen to us because we give them the resources for them and especially their staff to understand everything that can go wrong and everything that can go really bad if anything happens with a specific piece of legislation. And that makes a huge difference. So when the NFIP, one of the things, I'm super humble about being PIA National President. Is something I will cherish forever in my heart. I cannot thank everyone enough, especially my peers who voted for me. But one of the coolest experiences for me happened before being president was I got to testify before Congress, right? In terms of the National Flood Insurance Program reauthorization reform, how do we get a long-term reauthorization, not a 3-month, 6-month reauthorization, and then the impact it has and all that. The preparation for that meeting, it was almost 3 months where I was working with the PIA National staff, especially the advocacy group. And I mean, we are prepped. And I felt, and of course, I'm married to a lawyer, so a little bit about getting prepped for trial and stuff like that. I mean, I was scared, and I was scared in a good way, right? When you get scared, it means you matter, because I wanted to make sure I knew everything exactly of the bill that they were proposing, right? To the point that I could just have an open conversations with them, just like I am having with you. And that was such a cool moment, but that was probably a pivotal moment where I got to actually understand and feel like what we do matters. Like, if I messed up here in this congressional hearing, that can impact every independent insurance agent in the country, whether PIA member or not. It doesn't matter. It could have a huge impact. And that's what makes a difference, right? And that to me is something I will cherish forever, because it's an opportunity. Never in a million years selling an auto insurance policy I would have thought that I was going to end up testifying in Congress, or even leading a national trade organization. So
that is incredible, and I appreciate your work on that. And so one of the things that I know, you've spent a lot of time over the last 2 or 3 years on this board here and through those chairs in other states, whether you're talking to other states on stage or just being there at their conferences. And I think this year you'll probably be another 15 or 20 different conferences. What is one of those things that if my listeners are listening right now, what is one of those common themes you're hearing throughout every state? Because, obviously every state's different, but as a family, as a whole, the industry, obviously there's hard market talks, but is there a central theme or something that you're hearing throughout every state that, you could talk to us about a little bit?
It's funny that you just mentioned it. The number one topic everywhere I go across the country is the hard market, right? And you know, I try to address it with a lot of empathy and all that because we saw
You did
it.
a great talk on that. I heard several times while you were.
Oh yeah, I done that one before, but I try to address it. I try to tell everyone, it's like, listen, I get it. I feel your pain. We went through it in 2017 and 2018 in Puerto Rico. Then we went over it again in 2020, 21, 22 in Florida, at the Florida agency. So, and of course, Louisiana has been through this for many, many years, California as well. So those three states have been, and again, not mention any others, some others have, but then like, Bradley Flowers in Alabama and those states that have been impacted either by wildfires, hurricanes, tornadoes, stuff like that, have seen the hard market for a little under 10 years, right? The rest of the country is seeing it now. They started seeing it in 2023, some states, other states 2024, and I think the rest of the country is going to see it already in 2025, right? Where basically higher premiums, low capacity from our carriers because there's so much they can afford on reinsurance. There's not personal, it's just, it is what it is. But having been through that since 2017, it has given me a different perspective. Having been through that in two states, right, or Florida and Puerto Rico, it's just whenever I travel across the country and I hear the subject, I'm able to address it with empathy and say, okay, I know the hard market stuff. I know it sucks. It sucks so bad whenever you get a non-renewal. It sucks so bad when a carrier is calling you and saying, hey, by the way, you're only going to write in the 3 counties surrounding your home office. You can no longer write in the whole state. And I'm like, whoa, what is going on? You can't do that.
Or they pull out of the state entirely.
Entirely, yeah, which we also had that in Florida. So, and in Puerto Rico as well. So, that's kind of like the main topic that goes on. But there's also a lot of what I'm seeing, especially what I started seeing last year, 2023, was a lot of unity. And I mean, Heath, it's impressive how people are just coming back to organizations like PIA for unity, for, we are definitely better together, stronger together, however they want to say it. Most of the states, or at least all the conferences I've been at, you can see conferences are bigger, conferences are back in action. Of course, we had a huge gap in 2020, 21 because of COVID, but not only because people want to be out there. For the first time, some of the agency owners that were a little bit skeptic about, well, should I get involved? Should I not get involved? And I met this great gentleman in Michigan, and he was like, I never been involved. And I'm like, well, I'm glad you're here. We had a great conversation. The guy has 6 locations. He serves 4 states. Huge agency, like 85 employees, and had never been involved in a nonprofit, in an industry organization. Sorry. So having people like him come in, and then also having the smaller agency, the scratch one that is just starting and is looking for guidance. Like, one of the things we've been seeing is affiliates are giving them all of the resources, right? Or at least some of the resources to help them succeed where they are. And why joining us will give them a lot of value, right? In terms of how they do business and how do we help them and the communities they serve, and also their staff and their family. So the theme has been a lot of unity, a lot of growth. So once you overcome the first part of every conference, which is the hard market, as the first topic of conversation of the bar for the first night, and then you move to the rest of the conversations. Education's been huge. Of course, people asking for market access. It's a lot of, it's one of the main themes as well. So we're working on that. And we're curating on PIA National just more programs, insurance programs that our members can access, and our affiliates can use as well. So everybody wins, right? And we're nothing without our members, and we're nothing if we're not giving them solutions, and I mean real solutions. One of the things, and it's been one of the themes for my presidency, which has been teamwork. But one of the things I have found out is a lot of the affinity traditional programs, like rental car discounts and stuff like that. Those are okay, member benefits, but at the end of the day, when you're facing a hard market like we are right now, they could care less. They're like, listen,
Right.
I got
100%.
I got 100 more membership, or Delta or American Airlines or United, whatever Sky Miles number that gives me all those benefits. Like I need insurance benefits, right? Things that can help me in my day to day. So,
Well,
we're
yeah.
working
And
on all that.
yeah, and you bring that up, and I'm glad you brought that up, because as we wrap up, because we both got a hard stop here in a second, but I just, you and I have been talking off and on about, kind of stuff, some of the stuff you're doing with cyber insurance and working with agencies, and trying to help them and educating them, and some of that. And I see in your background, cyber that efforts and RGS. Can you, tell us in a minute or two, like what you're doing there and how agents can, learn more about that and how they could contact you or whoever about some of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so anyone that's want to contact me, you can feel free to connect and reach out over LinkedIn. It's I'm always open, send me a message. And so yeah, what we do at RGS is we do cyber program management, but we also do ID theft, and we have another program as well. So we're program managers. We design cyber programs which are bolt on. So being a bolt on program means there's no application, no underwriting, no anything. But we gave our program to carriers, and we gave our program to MGAs as well, right? We would normally work with a retail agency if they do mostly agency bill and they have a specific niche that they need to supply. So what we do is we say, listen, our program is designed to be a bolt-on, so it's going to be a lower limit. We're not designed to replace the traditional standalone, 2 million, 5 million, $10 million cyber liability policy. If your client needs that, and it's your judgment as a retail
Yeah,
agent to determine they need that, you got to do that, right? And we're not here to change
sure.
that. Now, for the small business client, which is 10 million and under in annual revenues, what we offer is a bolt-on program that every insurance company and every MGA can add up to their either BOPs or the commercial package or the GLs or whatever. They add the coverage as a bolt-on. There's no application, no underwriting, no anything. And they just charge the premium, and they get an automatic coverage of either $100,000 cyber liability limit, 250, 500, depending on the need, right? So what we do is we underwrite that MGA or carrier portfolio, and according to that, we give them one of our papers, right, which we write a master policy through one of our risk purchasing group. So as program managers, that's what we do, and right now there's a lot of need for that because carriers,
Yeah,
most of
huge.
them, they just don't want to go through the traditional reinsurance process because cyber liability is very difficult to quantify. So if you have a mom and pop, restaurant, you already know how much you have on business personal property. Oh, 150,000. So your loss is going to be 150,000 if it burns down. Go protect them. But on cyber, if you get hacked, it could be 5,000, but it could be 500,000. You don't know.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so our traditional partners, which are insurance companies, MGAs, wholesalers, normally none of them want to go through the reinsurance. Not none of them. Some of them don't want to go through the
Yeah.
reinsurance part of it, and they just use our risk purchasing group, which is we have admitted paper with multiple carriers nationwide, all 50 states and Puerto Rico. So I mean, it's been fun.
Sounds
It's
like
been
it,
a
man.
fun ride. Yeah.
And you're doing stuff, whether it's with PIA, with RGS, with some of the other things that you're involved in. I know you're always looking to give back to the insurance community. And I love that about you. And that's why you and I, always have good synergy and able to talk about different things, because I think you and I share the heart for the industry, and we want to give back and leave it better than we found it. And I
Yep.
appreciate that about you. And I think this is probably your fourth or fifth time on my show. And I know every
It's an
time
honor.
people love hearing from you. And it's just been so much fun watching you and seeing you. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, at least 2 or 3 times a year, I'm going to get to see you because we do the PIA events together, and it's always so cool to see you. But now, the only problem is, Ariel, when I see you now, it used to be I could have that one-on-one time with you, but now you're so busy and you have like a line of 500 people behind you waiting to talk to you. So I got to wait my turn now. But I got to wait till 2 in the morning when everybody else is done with you, and then I can catch you before bedtime. But I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing, and it's so much fun.
Listen, man, thank you for that. Yeah, it's a little bit challenging now, a little bit different because it's before we could spend hours together and just all that. First of all, you never have to wait for me because you can always cut the line and I don't care. You'll always be first. But yeah, I mean it's fun. It's been a great ride, and 2025 is going to be my biggest year. In that sense,
Dude.
right? As PIA National President and all that. And I look forward to seeing you in many of the events. So we'll see. We'll be seeing each other.
Oh, for sure.
And
I may
listen.
be the mayor of Insurance Town, but you're the president of insurance professionals.
Oh,
Like you are the man, and I love it.
I
I've
love
never
you,
met
man.
anybody that said, "Man, that Ariel, he's the worst." You know, everybody just loves working with you. Everybody loves talking to you. You always bring such great energy and enthusiasm, and I just love you for it, man. I appreciate it,
Likewise, brother. Well, I hope it always stays that way. And the same goes for you, right? And everybody
man.
loves you. Everybody wants you around. And that, listen, whenever we're good people, right? You have a good heart. I have a good heart. We cherish and value our families, our teams, our members, and everything we do. So it just comes natural to us to help people because that's what we want to do. That's,
A hundred
whether it's
percent, man.
at a basketball court or a soccer field for me, we want to help people. It doesn't
A hundred
matter. We're
percent,
always
and that's
there.
what it's
Yep.
about. Brother, I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you for jumping in with me, and we'll talk soon. I guarantee it.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate you. Send my love to everyone at home, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Take care, brother.
About you, and that's why you and I, always have good synergy, and I will talk about different things because I think you and I share the heart for the industry, and we want to give back and leave it better than we found it. And I
Yep.
appreciate that about you. And I think this is probably your fourth or fifth time on my show, and I know every
It's an
time
honor.
people love hearing from you, and it's just been so much fun watching you and seeing you. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, at least 2 or 3 times a year I'm going to get to see you because we do the PIA events together, and it's always so cool to see you. But now the only problem is, Ariel, when I see you now, it used to be I could have that one-on-one time with you, but now you're so busy and you have like a line of 500 people behind you waiting to talk to you. So I got to wait my turn now. But I got to wait till 2 in the morning when everybody else is done with you, and then I can catch you before bedtime. But I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of what you're doing, and it's so much fun.
Listen, man, thank you for that. Yeah, it's a little bit challenging now, a little bit different because it's before we could spend hours together and just all that. First of all, you never have to wait for me because you can always cut the line and I don't care. You'll always be first. But yeah, I mean it's fun. It's been a great ride, and 2025 is going to be my biggest year. In that sense,
Dude.
right? As PA National President and all that. And I look forward to seeing you in many of the events. So we'll see. We'll be seeing each other.
Oh, for sure.
And
I may
listen.
be the mayor of Insurance Town, but you're the president of insurance professionals.
Oh,
Like you are the man, and I love it.
I
I've
love
never
you,
met
man.
anybody that said, "Man, that Ariel, he's the worst." You know, everybody just loves working with you. Everybody loves talking to you. You always bring such great energy and enthusiasm, and I just love you for it, man. I appreciate it,
Likewise, brother. Well, I hope it always stays that way. And the same goes for you, right? And everybody
man.
loves you. Everybody wants you around. And that, listen, we're good people, right? You have a good heart. I have a good heart. We cherish and value our families, our teams, our members, and everything we do. So it just comes natural to us to help people because that's what we want to do. That's,
A hundred
whether it's
percent, man.
at a basketball court or a soccer field for me, we want to help people. It doesn't
A hundred
matter. We're
percent,
always
and that's
there.
what it's
Yep.
about. Brother, I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you for jumping in with me, and we'll talk soon. I guarantee it.
Likewise, brother. I appreciate you. Send my love to everyone at home, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Take care, brother.